Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Evergrain up in this piece in the form of their minimum security. Listen, you know me. I complain about the no dates. But since Evergrain is high turnover, rarely releasing the same beers back to back to back on each other, minus their kind of core line, I can kind of get by on it because I'm going to Instagram and see what the dating is. I forget how old this beer is, but the other thing is it's getting more and more abstract and killer, and I dig this can. Again, Evergrain. What are we talking about ABV wise? 6.8% India Pale Ale. I'm here for it, just on those merits alone. But just this kind of aeon fluxy, kind of abstract, kind of fever dreamy kind of artwork has always been a fan. I've always been a fan of, and oddly enough, I always talk about my gold on black. Teal and red just does something for me. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's actually Arsenal's third jersey this year, so maybe I should get one of those. Yeah, we're here. We're gonna do it. See what's what. Anyway, speaking of Arsenal, beat Villa today, 2-0. I'm excited. Let's put it this way. I don't want to get too excited, but excited. Label art, it's fantastic. There's a wolf's head, an abstract woman's body, like I said, eyeballs and juxtapositions of shapes and a cube, and yeah, very much kind of old school MTV on Flux. Not the movie with Charlize Theron. Granted. Charlize Theron. Mount Rushmore. Besides my wife, okay, well, juxtaposition, why did I say that word? I've already said it. My Mount Rushmore of women. I'm a heterosexual male. I like women. I can definitely tell you a sexy man, but I'm going to talk about women right now just because I said Charlize Theron. We're off the rails already. My top Mount Rushmore of who I think are the most attractive women in history of mankind, it would be Charlize Theron, Selma Hayek, Jessica Biel, and why am I blanking? I don't know. We'll get to it. Well, I'll figure it out. I don't know why I'm blanking. The girl married to the guy who's older. Ocean's 12. That Michael Douglas is, whoever his wife. Anyway, I don't know why I threw that in the middle of a beer review, but here we are. Looks all the part of a hazy. Yeah, look at that. Nice, rich. That probably is what it looks like to me. Just half a pinky finger of tight, compact head with a little bit of soapiness in the middle. Yeah, give it a whirl. Comes back with a vengeance. Has that kind of like slightly milky opaqueness to it. We're off to a really good start. Let's get a nose. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Man, it smells really good. Green, green, green. All the green are belong to us. Weedy green, beastery weedy green, but there's definitely a big kind of tropical fruit citrus component here. Orange Gina with a bit of kind of mango, kind of fruit smoothie kind of thing going on. Again, not lactose driven, but it has this soft edged sweetness that we all, or at least think most of us, love when it comes to hazy. Really impactful nose, aggressive. Again, hitting above its weight class for its ABV level. Yeah, that smells like the good stuff. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's delicious. Man, Evergrain. Oh, man, it's bitter, too. They are, like, sneaky, like, you know, like, what's that movie? Mr. Deeds. Sneaky level. Just good hazies, man. You know, and honestly, their shelf stability for their hazies are really phenomenal too. So it's one of the reasons why I kind of give them a soft pass on the dating thing, because even though I have one and I'm like, this is a little bit past its time, it really shows and proves. Sure, they fall off, but they never go like super hyper aggressive oxidative, or they fall off a little bit, but they're still really showy. So first things first, mouthfeel, nice. I think you're dealing with a decent amount of carbonic acid here, so that kind of kills the mouthfeel, along with kind of brings a little aggressive bittering to it. It's not like what's the word I'm looking for? like overtly bad kind of carbonic acid, but I think it's leaning into that a bit. So that's why I think this kind of leans a little bit more bittering than I think some other people might perceive it, because I'm hyper aggressive with that. On the flip side of things, you're definitely getting that kind of combination of that orangina kind of citrus fruit with that nice kind of mango kind of fruit smoothiness. It's a bit tempered here in its taste. Again, still good for 6.8%. The nose led you to believe it was going to be much, much bigger. But when you think about its ABV level and the time it spent, I picked this off a shelf, up a shelf, warm. You know, those kind of things. It really is just showing me all the bits and pieces, all the highlights of what I typically want from a nice hazy and a really good beer. Like I said, Evergrain, I'm telling you now, as far as like off the shelf hazies, you're probably gonna get a banger. They're kind of like up there now. They're up there with Cane for me. They're up there with Other Half. They're up there. I would put them above New Trail. For those keeping score at home. You know, there's some other breweries who's like Carton. There's some that are just, for me, living in the tri-state area, are just pretty easy to get shelfies. You know, whether it be Marlowe, they're definitely kind of on that level of just you pick it up knowing I'm probably going to get a really good hazy at a really good price point too. Not to eschew this beer review with thoughts of my Mount Rushmore of people I find attractive, or, you know what I mean, not talking about the beer itself, because that's what the beer review is supposed to be about. But I think we're in, man, it is good. I think we're in kind of like a golden age of shelfy hazies at this point. You know, with the breweries that I mentioned, there's so many other ones. I think there's so much competition, but there's so many breweries doing such really good things when it comes to the hazy game, especially the relatively low ABV hazy game, which tends to be a staple of Evergrain. You know, I'm typically in that 6% range as opposed to pushing high 7s. Man, they are up there, and it's just a great time to be alive, especially if you dig on a hazy. I love everything else. Love me some barley wine, love me lagers, love me everything else, but I'm not too afraid to sit here and say how much I dig on the hazies. And honestly, Evergrain's portfolio in general, date your cans, man. You don't have to worry about it. Just date it. It would make my life easier. And but man, just that what they're producing at the level they're producing, I'm a fan. So yeah, fruit juice, again, we're talking about that citrus combination with that mango, kind of fruit smoothie juiciness, tempered a little bit by that kind of bitterness. There's that hot bitterness here, but it's definitely kind of aided by a carbonic acid, so you get the nice balance, that fruit juiciness with that bittering, and a nice mouthfeel that, again, is probably just nudged a little bit down from the carbonic acid that tends to dumb down the mouthfeel a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, with all that being said, it's still electric, and it's still pretty violent on your palate in the way that a really good hazy should be. I dig it. I think it's great. So, minimum security. Aeon Fluxy. Weird Tangent beer review. Mount Rushmore status. One of the better hazies had as of late. Yes. Mount Rushmore status. No. In thinner times, maybe yes, but there's so many out there that it's hard for those things to like eke in the top 4, but a tasty bevy nonetheless. And I have zero hesitation buying the skin, especially if I knew I could find it a little bit fresher, just for that comparison. Value and availability, I want to say we're in the $15, $16 range, off the shelf, warm. Like as close to New Jersey as you possibly can where I live. Like, it's like, if I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's probably the closest, like, if I was like, how fast can I get to PA and grab a beer from a beer shop or distributor? This is the place. So we find it out this way, so they probably have decent distribution. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like hazy IPAs, you want them to hit a little bit over their weight class, and you want consistency. Not just this beer, but I think Evergrain's just a great way to go. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Evergrain, have you been to the brewery? I have, several times. Have you had their beers? What's your favorite beer? Have you had this beer? Have you had it recently? I'm filming this towards the end of August 2024. Have you had it recently? Have you had it fresh? Curious about your thoughts. All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully enjoying some good beer tonight. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, all.